Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of our very tall Sicily campaign. In case you missed our last episode, we have gone ahead and hired on all 4 of these mercenary armies. Now that some of them are taking some attrition, I don't guess that there's anywhere I can put them where they won't be doing that. Because in this episode, once we gain some morale in our armies, we will be spewing these mercenaries, not a great use of the word spewing, but we will be moving these mercenaries, excuse me, across these straits from Corsica to Sardinia because we want to take back the tributaries that were once rightfully ours, and indeed we will probably turn them into loyal feudataries. Now, of course, we cannot just turn them into feudataries, they do not have the same culture, but we can maybe give some land to the same feudatory state, you guys, that I gave Corsica to, and maybe even distribute the land amongst our feudataries to give our feudataries a little bit better of an economic base. Also, they will go ahead and convert a bunch of those pops to our culture. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We are just kind of speeding through on speed 4, just waiting for our morale to tick back up. Let's make sure we don't have any good military inventions that we want to take. No, I think we're going to be fine for now. We are instead just going to keep waiting. We do have a oratory advancement. Civilization level is going to go up. Perfect. Hopefully these 18,000 men will come to our aid as well. I'm not going to trade away my grain. I need it all. Unfortunately, we are just losing men to the unfortunate event of attrition. I'm going to say, though I don't think it can be helped, at least not at the current moment. Let's see. You should maybe be on like phalanx. Let's try you. Let's put you on deception. All these mercenaries have very good generals. Look at you, 9. Martial general, that's pretty good. I'll put you on bottleneck. You're probably the worst of these mercenary generals with only a 7. That's alright. We'll put you on bottleneck as well. We also want to make sure our navy is in the right place. Let's make sure I don't get caught off guard and our fleet maintenance is set to full. It looks like we have a somewhere prospering. The Council of Sicilians have sent an envoy proclaiming that harvest, trade, and taxation have all produced a huge surplus this year. Awesome. In a splendid show of national spirit, they have decided to offer the additional income to the state. Good for them. Perhaps we could let them spend the money for their own uses, however. So we can either get 20 gold, they can get a marketplace for free, we can get some popularity, they can get some local provincial loyalty, and you know what, I think I'm just gonna, you know what, they're just gonna give them a marketplace. I can always delete it later. Let's see, let's make sure our fleet maintenance is at full. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and sail it. Let's move you to Macedon. Let's go ahead and sail our fleet out into the middle of the Med. I know it's not at full. I know I might run into some pirates, but just for the sake of time, I think I'm willing to risk it in this specific circumstance. Our main army, now this is all of our Sicilian troops, no mercenaries. They are training up nicely. We are actually losing just a little bit of money per month. I'm not worried about that. I have plenty of money. Oh, and now I'm actually gaining money again. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be worrying about that too much. I might go ahead and get my diplomatic reputation up, just because I think that helps me out a little bit with my feudataries liking me just a little bit more. Ah, well, better luck next time. Looks like we maybe have 2 more months, 3 more months if I want them all to get to full morale, but just about 2 more months before we are at full morale. I'm going to go ahead and I think, well, I'll wait just 1 more month before declaring war. Either way, it has been too long. This land should rightfully belong to us. Our feudataries should get involved. Hopefully will help us out. I definitely don't want to trade anything with Etrusca. I don't want to help them. They are allied to our nemesis Rome at this point. We do have an omen power. I think I'm going to go with that national tax rate up because I'm spending a lot of money. Although I might have gone with the mercenary maintenance down In hindsight, that would have helped out with this army maintenance modifier, but either way, I feel in pretty good shape to go ahead and declare this war. Let's do it to it. We are going to call in a lot of people, but not everyone. Why not? I have disloyal subjects. Rude. I've got a lot of disloyal subjects. Well, I will have to make sure that that is taken care of. How do I make them more loyal? Let's go and see. I mean, it says you like me. Why are you labeled as a disloyal subject? Hey, if I'm missing something about the whole disloyal subjects thing, just let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear. I'll go ahead and just improve relations with some of these people. Why are you a disloyal? You're my pop type. You seem to like me a decent amount. Also, you, Lokri, I want you to love me. I want you to love me. Just love me, everyone. Love me. I am your great and glorious overlord, and I demand to be respected. Surely they would maybe join me. No, they wouldn't even join me if we were declared war against, would they? Oh well, can't be helped. Let's go ahead and go to war. I'm immediately going to move my armies across the strait. I don't want to take a strait crossing penalty in any kind of attack. I'm going to hope that they don't get to Vinolay super quickly, at least not fast enough for me to get the strait crossing penalty. No, and indeed I don't. Looks like the strait crossing is mine. I will control the straits. I will also control the seas. They have 2 pops die. I'll go ahead and move these 2 pops forward. Let's see, who would be the best? I think you would unfortunately be the best to siege down this fort. We'll have all the rest just sit relatively close by so that they could maybe help. We're going to move some slaves around to various provinces. Looks like they have gone on a massive recruitment drive. Now they're up to 37 cohorts. We have another civic advancement. Population capacity is going to go up. We're also going to get more national commerce income. That's good. Export value up. That is good. National Freeman output. That is decent and as well. Let's go ahead and actually grab that export value up. That's just going to help my commerce value a little bit. Help me make a little bit more money. Let's see. Can I go here with you? No. So you're stuck until we take this fort. Let's check out this fort. They have 800 men. I don't necessarily want to assault it. I think I'm just going to have to siege it down in the old-fashioned way. Take a little bit of attrition as I do it. Meanwhile, my allies are moving in. Looks like they are willing to attack. As soon as they get movement locked, I will move in additional armies to come assist. This is definitely... If we can take this fort, I think we are in a decent position to hold the rest, or to really just win the rest of the war outright very quickly. This fort is the keystone to Sardinia. Looks like they are instead going to try to take back their port. That's okay. I don't mind reinforcing it as well. And in fact, the siege of this fortress has been won. Let us go ahead and attack. Unfortunately, it seems like our son, our primary heir, has fallen ill. Gangs Bentagra. Let's just have him seek treatment. He's also 52 years old. Yeah, he's an old guy. He's got lots of children. Let's go ahead and continue our pushing forward of our armies. I'll actually move you to here. And again, I don't have to necessarily worry about manpower too much because, well, I'm not using my manpower. I'm letting others fight for me. It's a wonderful strategy I have. A granary fire, we can lose 42 gold, but 1,000 food. Wow, that's actually a bunch of food. I guess I'll go ahead and do that. Let's actually just briefly go and look at our food situation. It wasn't here, it was here. Somewhere we lost 1,000 food. Thought it was Sicily. Maybe it was just 200? Either way, we're still looking good food-wise, so I'm not super worried about it. We are fighting back the armies of Sardinia. They, I think, are realizing that they never should have rebelled in the first place, because we have brought war and destruction to their home. And we will continue to do so, because they rebelled against us. We must be harsh on those who rebel. We were happy to let them live out their days as a lovely tributary to us, just giving us a little bit of their monthly income. Ooh, man. That's, not great. Not going to help me lower my aggressive expansion super quickly. Since he's only a 4-score oratory. Looks like our man has lost his Intagra trait, so good for him, I guess. And now let us keep moving southward in a just tremendous pace. They are retreating pretty much at will. There's nothing that they can do to necessarily stop the onslaught of our armies. We have another government position open, the Architros. I'll go ahead and give it to you. You're relatively loyal. I think your scorned family tag will go away. Nope, it didn't, but oh well. If nothing else, this was a great excuse to invade someone and take a bunch of their people for to make Sicily just all that much taller. Looks like they are already willing to sue for peace. No peace, unfortunately for them. The way I see it, they asked for this when they rebelled. They could have had peace. I would have been happy to have let them become tributaries, but no. Or to let them stay as tributaries, but no, they decided that they wanted to fight. And fight we can do, because we are the very tall Sicilians. We let our money fight for us. And in fact, we are going to, I think, just win every single fight in this war. Our troops are way out-teched, have way out-teched them. We have better morale. We're doing a ton of damage. We have more inventions. We are more disciplined. We siege super quickly because of all the siege inventions we have. And we just have pushed their forces back farther and farther, except for these 2,000 men. Let's go and deal with them. We have indeed captured one of their generals. We'll go ahead and siege this province back. Taking more slaves to Syracuse. I'm not unhappy about that. I'm okay with just completely decimating the population. Oh gosh, that sounds so evil when I say it like that, doesn't it? Maybe I am kind of an evil overlord of my little computer pops sometimes. Makes me feel kind of bad for them. Oh well. We've won that siege. More slaves taken. More pops dead. Although, man, that does make me sound like a terrible person. I promise, I like to think that I'm a lovely person in real life. I'll let you all be the judge of that, though, with how I treat my little computer pops. We're going to win this fight. We're going to push on against a much larger army, but better morale. We have better morale. Their morale is in shambles. You are going to go straight to their last center of population. They're desperately just trying to hold on to their last cities. At this point, though, they really can't. We've taken pretty much everything from them. This is going to be big when we take this province, or this little city. Lots of slaves, plus 6 pops dying. I think those 13,000 men, at this rate, will actually be able to take on those 51,000 men. You can go here. And we pretty much just pushed them straight down the island, defeating them in every battle. Oh no, it looks like we have a new king. Our old king is dead. Long live the new king. He's probably not long for this world either. Actually, he's gaining some health back. wonderful, perfect. He's not great. He's not great at all. Well, hopefully the gods are with him. They certainly were with his father. His father was a great king. Many songs will be sung about the sadness of the day that he died. But also, the people of Sicily can't be that upset because they've finally dealt with their great national embarrassment that was the release of Sardinia, as the last vestiges of the Sardinian army all go and surrender to greater Sicilian numbers. So this war is over and done. We moved through their land, honestly, like a hot knife through butter. Let's go ahead and figure out how we want to divide the land. Now, I want to give land to those who helped me. So I kind of just want to look at the armies that were here. We have the Hipponian army and we have the Regum army. So I definitely want to give Regum some land because they also already own Corsica. So that just seems... Oops, I always do that. So that just seems useful to give them part of the spoils. So I will transfer Regum. Now, for those of you who may be wondering, hey, why am I not like taking the land myself? Like it's great to, you know, own both Sicily and Sardinia, especially because they have iron. Well, it's because, and if you watch our series from the beginning, you'll see that we have committed to not expanding our territory 1 foot outside of Sicily, with the exception of this little island down here, and that is just because it is part of the province of Sicilia. So we are not expanding 1 foot outside of this territory. So you might think, well, how are you supposed to really like expand? How do we keep our population strong? Well, we do that through... There's actually been a lot of wars in this campaign. We've been fighting quite often, but when we fight, we are fighting to bring more slaves back to Sicily, and we are fighting to take tributaries and feudataries so that we have others help us do our bidding, but we are going to be nice and strong and stay right up in here on the Sicilian homeland. So I'm going to give all of this territory to my feudataries, because I had originally taken these 2 countries as tributaries. They, along with their Messapian brothers who I distributed their land earlier in an earlier war, they all rebelled from me. They didn't want to be tributaries, they didn't want to pay their overlord anymore, and I said, nay, that is not okay, and here I am pushing them back. So I think I'm going to just divide their land, probably just, you know, upper half goes to Regum, bottom half goes to Hipponia. So if you'll forgive me for taking just a second to do that. To transfer all the occupations. Okay, this is taking a little longer. I should have maybe been doing this as we were going during the war. I'm amazed, and I guess I maybe shouldn't be, because after all, our armies really just slid through their territory, because we are so much more teched up than they are. This better make Hipponia just love me. And I better keep Hipponia on my good side, that's for sure. We are just so much more teched than they are. Now, giving all this land to my feudataries, this is actually going to slow down their tech progression, but at this point, like, what's the max techs you can get? It's just like 20 levels, right? So, like, they're not necessarily going to be able to tech up that much more anyway, since their tech's already so high. We'll give them a lot of pops to start working on converting. And, alright, so that is how I want to distribute it. Let's go ahead and look at the peace deal. That goes to Regum. That goes to Hipponia. Can I not select you? No. Cool. And that actually only increases my war score by 5. That's not terrible at all. Or not my war score, my aggressive expansion. So let's go ahead, hit that button. And boom, we have expanded our feudatary's influence. And I'm going to go ahead and just, while I can, disband my mercenaries. They fought hard. I'll let them begin to heal up. And then we will be good to go. Okay, so now that we have given away all this land and released those mercenaries, they're of course going to just kind of heal up. We'll have them available to us again if we need them in the future. I kind of like having this Corsica and Sicily being these like mercenary havens where I just like hire mercenaries, move them to Corsica and Sicily, because after all, if I can control the navy, then no one will be able to hire them away from me. And I can, you know, use them and ferry them across when needed to the mainland. I kind of like that. Of course, I'm probably just going to let them, wherever they fall is probably where I will take them out of commission, for instance, because I do have lots of mercenary opportunities here on the mainland as well. I really do have lots of questions about, like, the whole disloyal vassal thing, disloyal feudatory. Like, would you join a war now? Like, now that I've improved relations a little bit? I don't know. I've been trying to just do everything to make my feudataries happy. I'm in the subjugative stance. I mean, come on. Love me. Why will they not love me? Alright, so we're seeking a patron. Consider it done. We'll gain some good things. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. Yeah, that one seems good. Alright, so any new inventions that I might want to get? Oratory provincial investment costs. I think I'm going to go ahead and take that. Anything else? National freeman output. Sure, let's make those freemen just a little bit more efficient. And now let's focus in again on, of course, we are building up an economy. I'll go ahead and go to low fleet maintenance. Why not? My fleet is in port after all. And hire another general. Let's choose you and start you training. I have an unused trade route. Anyone willing to trade with me? Alright, so what do I need? Freeman happiness would be good. I have plenty of food, so I'm not... Ooh! Iron! Finally! We can build heavy infantry in Sicily now! That is a game changer. In fact, such a game changer. I think I'm going to go ahead and just make this a nice round number and build... Build 6 heavy infantry just into this army. Yes, that's going to mean spending a little bit more money in army maintenance, but I'm spending just hardly anything in army maintenance considering everything. Yeah, I'll gain 5 stability for 200 something gold. That's okay. I gain it back so quickly after all. Anything else? The build costs down. All right, let's look, because we have a whole bunch. Oh yes, and indeed, it looks like I need to build some more aqueducts in Sicily. I'm actually just gonna have to build. I'm gonna go ahead and just build 3 aqueducts in Sicily. I just gained so many slaves every single war that I have. My enslavement efficiency is very high. I might consider moving some of my pops outside of Syracuse and into some of these other big cities. Or, in fact, I could use this decentralized population. That way they would start to move away from, you know, the capital and instead to other provinces or other territories in the province. Might be useful down the line. I'll go ahead and trade away some wine. That's fine. I think I'm also going to go ahead and get this entice business investments. Just to add another trade route to Sicily, just in case I need one. Let's check. I'm getting 27 gold per month, so I'm definitely making quite a bit of money. Ooh, a plot against our primary heir. Who are you? She's the consort and wife of... Oh, she's my wife! I could seize her. Ooh, that's going to cause a lot of loyalty issues, though. Or I could just have my son die. A lot of loyalty issues. My son will die. A lot of loyalty issues. My son will die. You know what? I'm not super attached to you anyway. Bye now. Ooh, I did have another son to come and take his place. Oh, Oh, well, I mean, he's at least got good finesse, right? Alright, he's not amazing either. What can I say? My line is no longer producing, you know, extremely talented offspring, but, I mean, we're handling it all the same. Get some salt. Salt's always good. Salt, after all, does increase my population capacity, which I kind of need. Oops, I have another death. Yeah, and as I said, I kind of need it, considering how big Sicily is. Of course, at this point, Sicily is still trying to make more citizens, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. I can't move citizens around, though. For instance, if I were to come here and move pops, I can only move these slaves around. And Sicily, or Syracuse, doesn't have a ton of slaves. I mean, it has 45 slaves. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. But I think I'm going to go ahead and build a building here. Another library. Let's just go ahead and try to get more and more of those citizens. Our aqueduct is finished. That helps. Speaking of that aqueduct finishing and helping, I'm actually going to go ahead and go back to full fleet maintenance. Let my fleet tick up, and I'm going to send my fleet on a little slave raiding journey. I think maybe you, Ostia, will be my primary target for this raid. I might also go back to Velkow and some of these cities as well. I like having big, strong armies here. Unfortunately, I don't know how much they will help me in the time of war, because I'm sure that they... I mean, I just have very little faith in the Paradox AI being able to do a lot of good naval invasions. I'm not saying that they didn't. After all, I did have lots of Hipponian troops coming and helping me in my last fight, which was great and good. But, you know, it looks like you... Oh, Carthage! Look at Carthage expanding up in the north. That's kind of alarming, because I was hoping to expand up there. What about you all? I no longer have a truce with you. You have a truce with Carthage, and you're at war. I could just go ahead and declare a no-CB war. Your allies are several. But try to expand Massalia's line of influence. Yeah, expanding influence in Massalia could be helpful, especially since you only have 8 cohorts right now. Can't really afford... Alright, let's, oh, you have a nice little defensive league. Well, here, if I were to declare war, you would join. Where are you? You have 10 troops. Alright, not worried necessarily about you. You would join. You have 6 troops. Not worried necessarily about you. You would join. You have 5 troops. Not worried at all about you. I could just hire these 26,000, move them right over. I have the money. I'm making the money. Alright, 26,000 men hired. I'm going to do another no-CB war. It's going to severely reduce my stability. I could think about stabbing the pig. How much is that going to cost? 43... political influence. I've hit that pig enough, though. What are the exact penalties for a no-CB war? Minus 25 stability. That hurts me. But not so much to the point where I don't necessarily want to do it. Anyone willing to trade for some, like, cloth or something? Ooh. Phrygia might, eventually. Actually just gonna say nobody will miss it. I'm not necessarily worried about increasing my popularity. Hey, because that increased my popularity. Let's go on a little slave raiding, shall we? We'll go to, I guess, Naples first. We get some, little bit of gold. I'm never gonna complain about a little bit of gold. Fortunately, wow, our army's taking a ton of attrition here. It'll take just as much there. Alright, so it's actually taking the least amount that it can, where it is. Oh, what's this? Rome is at war. Who's Rome at war with? Oh dear. Do we do it? They have 20 cohorts. Who's winning this fight? Oh, currently 82 for Rome. Nah. Looks like we're getting in on the tail end of that war. Oh yeah, no, look, yeah. I don't necessarily want to enter a war with Rome when we're on the tail end of the war. When they're on the tail end of the war. Especially considering they have invested, it looks like, invested heavily in their navy. Let's go ahead and just grab some slaves, come back home, and invest in our navy as well. And let's just keep going with plan A, I guess. Let's expand Massalia's influence up in the north. Hope that they don't get too hemmed in by Rome. Looks like we have an omen. Let's go ahead and get that national tax rate. It's just going to help us afford those mercenaries just a little bit better. Let's see. It looks like you're 2 months out from being full morale. Don't want to lose any stability because I'm going to be losing a lot of stability whenever I hit that no CB war. We have a military advancement. Ooh, siege ability up by another 5%. Army movement speed up. And heavy cavalry discipline. I'll take all of those, please. And thank you. I will put you in charge. Morale of armies, perfect. Do that. Army movement speed also is good. And heavy cavalry discipline, I'll take it all. Not that I use a ton of heavy cavalry. Oh, and would you look at this? It looks like they've actually... They now belong to the Boii. They're at war with... Alright, so that complicates things a little bit. But I definitely want to go ahead and declare this war. I'm actually going to do it right now before even hitting full manpower. Because any second now, Rome could come in and try to conquer all of this. And then my little feudatory in Massalia would be kind of stuck. I want to conquer some of this first. We're going to war right now. I didn't plan on actually doing a second war in this episode. I thought we would just prepare for the war in this episode, but it can't be helped. We needed to do it quickly. We had a stability drop. We're still fine. We're still fine. Let's go ahead and move in. And... yes, I think I'm going to try to get away with not moving any other armies into the region. We'll see. The Boii look to be pretty well complicated with Rome. I am going to move my megapolremes up here. If I can go ahead and just destroy a fortress, either there or here, I will take it. This is a kind of a lightning war that needs to happen. Of course, my siege ability is very fast, and I'm also going at speed 4 instead of speed 3. If it becomes a problem, I will reduce the speed. I mean, look how fast we're just tearing through their fort. Yeah, siege engineering is +4. Yeah, so we actually probably won't need to... Alright, so they did actually peace out. I was worried about that. Now, of course... Ooh, look how big the Arverini are. Anyway, they did peace out. I was a little worried about that, but actually I think this is a good thing. Let's check and see who we're fighting against. We were fighting against several people. That's fine. Oh, unfortunately our king has gained the depressed trait. It looks like our Hipponian... who are you? The Emporian allies have come to our aid. I could hit the... yeah, so if I hit this button, then this fort will cease to exist. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. No, then this fort will cease to exist. This one will just give a breach added. I don't necessarily trust them to sit there. I actually don't think I'm going to hit the button after all. I feel like, yeah, after all, I just want it right there. So, that's good. Oh, look! Have you moved all the way up? See, look at all my loyal little tributaries and feudataries. They're so nice to me. We are taking some naval attrition. That's going to be just fine. We'll win that fight. We'll siege down this land. We'll go ahead and give this to the Sicilians, as well as all this land. You might be asking, why am I giving this to the Sicilians? Well, one, I want as many feudataries to help me stand up against Rome as possible. I have to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry about that. How unprofessional. Let's go ahead and transfer all this land. We have one more little territory to take, and then we'll see what we can get in a peace deal. Of course, there are other people in this fight. Let's go ahead and pause it for just a second. And let's see if we can take this land in just this lightning piece. I guess that will do it for the Boii, won't it? They unfortunately will not take this. We'll have to see what we can do to help them, well, help persuade them maybe a little bit more. But unfortunately, that is where I'm going to have to call it quits for the day. We have gained a foothold in Gaul as well as kind of in Iberia, but Rome and Carthage seem to be battling that out. I would not mind seeing a fight between Rome and Carthage. If that happened, I would definitely kind of ally myself with the Carthaginians. In fact, well, I guess I'm a little too small to directly ally with the Carthaginians, but if I did see that happen, I would kind of de facto ally myself with the Carthaginians and try to take some Magna Graecia away from Rome. Of course, if I saw Rome beating back Carthage and maybe even destroying their fleet, I wouldn't mind getting a chance at extending my influence into northern Africa as well. As far as the rest of the world, Phrygia and Macedon are still looking pretty strong. Parnia, that's interesting. Parnia may come and gobble up some of the territory left behind by the Seleucid Empire. I would like to see a big, strong Armenia. I always like to see a big, strong Armenia. Thrace has kind of been pushed to the north into the Getian and the Dacian region. And it looks like the Brigantians are seeming to dominate central England. And looks like the Corytanians are doing decently in the south. And maybe we should all be watching out for the Arverini, because these barbarians in the north might be the ones that give Rome the most trouble. Of course, I am all for them giving Rome a little bit of trouble, but we'll have to see what happens in the next one. I'm going to call it quits here for today. I've been Ben the Bold, you have been you, and I hope to see you again on the next one.